The Secret Service ends their cocaine investigation, and big surprise, no witnesses. One of the most advanced agencies in the entire planet, in one of the most secure locations on the globe, can't figure out exactly what happened with a little dime bag of cocaine. And when they can't give us an answer on who it is, well, by the process of elimination, we can come to our own conclusions, and I think we know where this goes. The Secret Service published a statement about this. We'll read through it. You'll see how bland it is. Not a lot of details, but this came from their website, secretservice.gov, published 7/13/2023, published by the Media Relations team. They tell us this is the official statement of the investigation of the cocaine found in the White House, which is just amazing. On the evening of July 2nd, right around America's birthday, officers from the U.S. Secret Service Uniform Division found an unknown substance inside a vestibule leading to the lobby area of the West Executive Avenue entrance to the White House. Let's see if we can parse together where that is exactly. Lobby area of the West Executive Avenue entrance to the White House. This is a graphic that was created by the Daily Mail, and they tell us this was the first location. The library near the center hall on the ground floor. Primarily accessible, that's where they told us it was. But then it moved. The first location was right here in the main building, a lot of what we generally think of as the White House. But then they moved it over into a second location, which is over here, the West Wing lobby. So we had one report that it was here, then they changed that story. It's over here, West Wing lobby. The West Wing lobby is the reception room for visitors of the president, the vice president, and White House staff. So who came in to visit? But now it looks like it's this. It's the executive entrance, the third location. The West Executive entrance is used by the vice president, senior staff, and visitors to the West Wing. So we've got different locations and it keeps bouncing around. A vestibule leading to the lobby area of the West Executive Avenue entrance. Looks like that third area. So the substance was located inside a receptacle used to temporarily store your electronic and personal devices. So you drop all your stuff in there for security, including your coke. Following the discovery, safety closures were implemented around the White House. Their response was designed to ensure that the found substance was not a chemical or a radiological material, that could wipe out the country and threaten the security of the White House. As such, the substance was field tested and preliminarily determined to be not hazardous. And I'm sure when the hazmat team showed up, I'm sure the guy looked at it, he goes, oh, that's coke. That's a dime bag right there. That's it, right? Okay, test it. All right, there it is. Because they've seen it. They've done it many times. So testing conducted by the Fire and Emergency Medical Services indicated that the found powder tested positive for cocaine. The substance and packaging were treated as evidence after they wiped off all the fingerprints and evidence. All right, here. You got that evidence bag handy? All right, here. All right, open it up. All right, put it in there. After they gobbled it up, treated as evidence, sent over for biodefense analysis, which analyzed the item for biothreats. Tests conducted at this facility came back negative and gave formal confirmation it's not biological. The substance in the packaging underwent further forensic testing. The substance was analyzed for its chemical composition. The package was subjected to advanced fingerprint and DNA analysis. I'm sure they really did that. And both of these analyses were conducted by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Oh gosh. Who did the investigation? Was it the same guy who got the laptop, who also met with Gal Luft? Who did that? Did they bring back Jim Baker from Twitter? Who did it? Did Comey do this? Was he in there sampling this all up? I don't know. But they send it over, given their expertise in this area. And honestly, I think that a lot of this is just a red herring. This is distraction stuff. They have cameras on every single orifice of that Capitol building. It's a limited number of people who come and go through there. They don't need to do fingerprint and DNA analysis. They're trying to sell this like it's a CSI thing. It's a camera in a cubby. Every single person who comes through the White House is documented, and every single moment is chronicled. I have no doubt about it. And if not, then this is hysterical. I mean, what a joke. Maybe it's as secure as the Capitol building was on January 6th, literally. I don't know. But okay, fingerprint and DNA analysis and all that stuff, it's like from a movie. Are they gonna? No, they know. Okay, they just know. They just look at it and they go, it's a dime bag of cocaine. It's cocaine. Both of these analyses were conducted by the FBI. FBI had a difficult time. They had to put down their crayons and Where's Waldo books to cover this one up. So while awaiting the FBI's results, the Secret Service investigation into how this item entered continued. Let's see what they did. The investigation included a methodical review of security systems and protocols. This review included a backwards examination that spanned several days prior to the discovery of the substance and developed an index of several hundred individuals who may have accessed the area. That's a small number of people, man. That's like only 1/3 of the January 6 people. We've had, what, about 1,000 charged now? It's like 1/3, several hundred. Okay. Where the area where the substance was found. The focal point of these actions developed a pool of known persons for comparison comparison of forensic evidence gleaned from the analysis of the substance's packaging, all right? What they're trying to do is give us two pieces. In other words, we need 1 + 1 to equal a conviction. They're talking about confirmatory forensics, confirmatory analysis. So they have a suspicion. We've got a pool of 300 people, but we can't just go and investigate any one of them on our own. We need something to more or less confirm it because it's too big of a pool. So we have no confirmatory anything. What do we need to confirm who that was at that moment? Well, we need fingerprints. Are there any? No. Is there any DNA evidence? No. So they can't do this confirmation because they don't have that second part. So it's going to be 1 + 0 = no conviction or no even investigation. On July 12th, the Secret Service received the lab results, which did not develop latent fingerprints or insufficient DNA present for investigative comparisons. You're kidding. What a shock. It's going to be inconclusive because it was designed to be inconclusive. Therefore, the Secret Service is not able to compare evidence against a known pool of individuals. Oh, man. I would guess they don't need to do that, but if this was a January 6er, they would have already arrested this dude. The FBI evaluation of the substance also confirmed it was cocaine. There was no surveillance video footage found that provided investigative leads or any other means for investigators to identify who may have deposited the found substance, it's cocaine, in the area. Without physical evidence, the investigation will not be able to single out a person of interest. Oh no. From the hundreds of individuals who passed through the vestibule where the cocaine was discovered. At this time, the Secret Service and our investigation is now closed due to a lack of physical evidence. But we take our mission to protect U.S. leaders very seriously, and we're constantly adapting to meet the needs of the security environment. Well, I don't know what they're going to have to do. There must be a policy against the first son bringing in drugs, I guess. You'd have to implement that policy if you want to protect the White House against drugs. But very convenient, absolutely amazing. I tend to think that if they're not going to tell us, they can find it. Let's be real. These are very smart people who can backtrace everything. I think they probably know who it is. They're not telling us, and that is intentional. Representative Lauren Boebert was meeting with some people in Congress today. Here is a little bit of an update from Boebert.
Hey everyone, I am on my way into this restricted area to go into a skiff to learn about the unclassified information regarding the cocaine that was found at the White House. I'm meeting with Secret Service agents, and I am determined to find out exactly what happened, where the substance came from, who is allowed in the White House without going through security, and more importantly, why members of Congress are forced into a skiff where classified information is regularly shared, and this is an unclassified subject. So stay tuned. I will have more information for you shortly.
Why are they shoving her into this skiff when they can just talk about this stuff openly and publicly? It's not a classified document. It's a criminal investigation. It's a crime on the White House. Why can't we all see what's going on? Why can't they give us a full briefing? Well, it's because Congress gets some of those special privileges. Marjorie Taylor Greene gave us an update on what she heard from the Secret Service.
The real concern here is American citizens every single day go through drug tests as part of their employment for their jobs. This is a common practice. Just speaking with the Secret Service now, my question to them was, they were able to narrow down a list of approximately 500 people that had left a small bag of cocaine in a cubby. Now, these are cubbies that are controlled by the administration, not by the Secret Service, when they enter into the foyer off the West Executive Entrance. This cocaine was found there, so they were able to bring the list, narrow it down to approximately 500 people. My question to them was, have they drug tested this list of 500 potential suspects that brought an illegal substance, a drug, cocaine, into the White House? Their answer was no, and that they're unwilling to do so. It makes no sense to me whatsoever why they would not follow through on one simple task, and that is to drug test a list of 500 people that they have that are potential suspects for this.
It's a good question. Of course, I am against, warrantless invasions of your bodily privacy, and federal agents, like if you're not under their jurisdiction, if you're a visitor to the White House and somebody came up and said, I'd like to test your blood, I'd be like, get the hell out of here. What are you, nuts? But that's different. What if these are employees of the White House? What if these are people who, like any other employer or employee in any other company, if they were found, if there was drug found and nobody claimed it, maybe they would do another drug test. And so why should the White House staff, under under Joe Biden's purview, be held to a different standard? It's a very interesting question. And if the Secret Service is very interested in this, well, certainly they've got different security reasons and different justifications for why people have to comply with these things. And so I would imagine the drug policies are ultra strict, lest you have some crackhead coming into the White House. He might have ulterior motives that are adverse to the country.
The American people every single day go through drug tests in order to do a job, by the way, that brings them a paycheck where they have to pay their taxes. And guess what? Their tax dollars go to pay for all of our salaries, and they pay for the Secret Service. This is a failure of this investigation to not perform a drug test on these people. This list of approximately 500 potential suspects. There are other concerns there as well. How there's a cubby box that has a key, how they found that it left open and the drugs were in there.
Interesting, a cubby box with a key. So you unlock it. So it's very much like what you see at some jails. When I go visit jails, you got to shove all your stuff in there, lock it up. So somebody put their stuff in there and forgot their Coke when they took it back out, which is very interesting. So it is not just a random open area. Okay, so this is just nuts. So I got to imagine, you go to the gym and you lock your keys into the thing. It's probably very much like that. Open up the code, open it up, put your stuff in there. There are always cameras on those things. So you can see who used what cubby, opened it up and closed it. They know exactly who this person was.
Also a failure with the amount of cameras they have. And I just don't find the excuses on how we can't find out who had cocaine in the White House.
Yeah, because they know who had it. They know. They just don't want to tell us. The whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. Here's Senator Marco Rubio confirming the same from the Senate.
At any given time, if you asked the security people at the White House who was in the White House at 12:35 p.m., I'm just using that time on a Friday afternoon, they can tell you every single person that goes in there is logged in, is logged out. They know where the president is at all times. They know where the family is at all times. So the idea that someone would walk into the White House with cocaine powder, drop it off somewhere, and they not know, or at least be able to narrow it down to the 25 people on the planet who were in that area or had access to that area during a defined period of time is ridiculous. It's absurd. It's just not true. That's the first problem. The second problem is, imagine right now if you are a Communist Party of China leader sitting in Beijing, because you read and you watch the press. You see all of these things. So here's what you've seen over the weekend. Cocaine was found at the White House. Then the president had this fight with a beach chair over there, and he just looked like he could barely move. Then he goes to London and embarrasses himself, and then the report tonight, and you add to that all the other things that have happened. Look, some of your viewers aren't going to like what I'm about to say, some of them anyways. On the human side, you feel bad for the guy. You do. It's not his fault that he's 80. It's not his fault.
It's sad. We're all going to be
you
old.
Also have to acknowledge that our friends, our allies around the world see all of this, and their confidence is shaken about the person in charge, and our enemies see it too, like China, and they are emboldened by it. They will be emboldened by it. And this is very serious, but it is part of a much broader collection of things. And the last point I would make is, imagine if this was 4 or 5 years ago and the reports out where cocaine was found in the Trump White House.
Disaster.
That is all we would hear about. That is all they would ask about. That is all I would be asked about in the hallways of the Capitol on a regular basis.
Don Jr.,
Here, it's kind of like, we've moved on. Cocaine in the White House.
It's crazy.
Let me ask you about the president.
And they can't find it, right? They actually can't find out who the source of the cocaine was. It just is nuts as the fact that cocaine is there. It's like, what is the Secret Service? What is the security apparatus even doing?
Because the Biden foreign policy, and to be fair, there's still people in the Republican Party that somewhat believe in all this, is constructed on the basis of this belief that somehow China and the United States are going to be able to work this all out. Look, nobody wants a war here. But what we can't forget and what we can't ignore is the fundamental fact that China intends to be the world's most powerful country. They believe that's the trajectory they're on. They believe that's their rightful place. They're very confident of that. And that's what they're moving towards.
They're on a better trajectory than we are. We have, I don't even know what going for us here in the United States. Our Secret Service can't even find crackheads in the White House. I bet the Chinese could find their crackhead in their White House pretty quick. We'll see if anything else comes of it. Otherwise, Hunter scoots free, escapes another one.